dignity. Always dignity. And other lies that happen in this movie. Hi! Welcome to the next episode of All the Hate in My Heart. Positivity in the coughing 20s. I'm Scarlet, and this is Scarlet Unscripted. So, today, we are going to be talking about Singing in the Rain. I brought it up in the last video, and you know what? Why not go on about it? It's a wonderful movie. It brings me joy. It brings me positivity. So, hopefully it can do the same to you. Now, I wasn't always like this. I used to be shorter. And I grew up with this movie. So, last time we did a plot synopsis throughout the entire episode. I think today, because so much happens in Singing in the Rain, I think we're going to skip that. And I'm just going to give you a brief overview of some of the wonderful things that happen and why you should check this thing out. It's a long movie. It's so long and old, it's got an intermission. So, Singing in the Rain. Main characters, we have the most wonderful Donald Lockwood, the Hollywood star, who is beset by a wonderful tragedy at the beginning of the movie, where he discovers that talking pictures are all of a sudden a thing. And this is what sets the whole plot in motion. We're not doing a plot synopsis like last time. He is our quintessential 50s main character man. He used to fight in movies. He became a star because he was a stuntsman, and he was willing to do the things that other stunt people weren't willing to do, like get punched in the face and fall off horses and throw themselves through walls. Yeah, it sounds like pretty typical stuff, realistically. And of course, what is a leading man without his sidekick? What is a William Turner without his Jack Sparrow? And our best friend for this movie is Cosmo, our sort of Jim Carrey-esque comedian type who just wants to make him laugh, as it were. Watch the movie and you'll get that reference. So, and of course, you need your love interest for the movie, who is introduced as Lena Lamont, a wonderful film star, which is our first red herring for the movie because he absolutely hates her. And she spends the entirety of the movie doing everything she can to fuck things up, to maraud, as it were. A marauder. How fitting. And soon through the movie, he finds his actual proper love interest, Miss Kathy Selden, who has the voice of a songbird and feet. Well, let's not talk about what happened to her feet during filming. Anyway, Singing in the Rain. Come on. We've all seen the first snippet of that song. We've all hummed the tune. Da 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 da. So anyway, getting down to why you should watch this movie, because we're trying to make it short and snappy this time, because I'm not recounting the plot of an entire 4-hour movie. It's fun! It's really, really old, and it's really, really fun! There's songs, there's jazz. The costuming is to die for. If getting that wonderful piece of film history of finding out all the wonderful things around the song Singing in the Rain doesn't sell you, well, then what would sell you on it? Do you want to know there's a happy ending? Because there's a happy ending. It's the 50s. Do you want to know that love triumphs over evil? Of course it does. Do you want comedy? Do you like slapstick? Because there's plenty of that. Do you like wonderful sugar-coated lies coated in chocolate, like how I started this video? Because there's plenty of that. And also there's some wonderful one-liners. Like when they finally pitched to the head of the studio that they should make the talking pictures. Cosmo pulls a cigar out and says, RF, have a cigar. And he says, those are my cigars, damn it! I won't be told to have one of my cigars. So really, you should be sold on the movie. I mean, what more do you need to know? It's a piece of film history. You probably haven't seen it. You probably need something to watch, so watch it. Right, so I was ready to pack up. I was done. I had a costume malfunction. Sometimes that happens, right? You know, sometimes you get a problem, something rolls in, and you're sort of stuck with that problem. You're in a rut. You don't know what to do. Sometimes everything you were doing suddenly obsolete. You were making movies when no one talked in them. And all of a sudden, talking pictures appear. Your whole world flipped upside down. Sound familiar, right? But what do you do when you're faced with these insurmountable odds? Your whole world's flipped upside down. Do you give up? Do you lie down and take it? Say, I've had a good innings. May as well? No! No, you don't. We're not answering that question with a no with this series. This is positivity in 2021, not negativity. So when you're faced with these odds, what do? You adapt. You discover that your leading lady of the film studio, her voice is terrible. She can't sing. And the first time you do a talking picture with her, it's terrible. Almost tanks the entire studio. And then you find a new girl with the voice of an angel and solve all your problems. Wow, not all of them. But the one big one that you've got hanging over your head sounds familiar, doesn't it? Trying to solve all your problems at once with one thing. But you can't, can you? You can't solve all your problems with just one thing. Especially not a human. We're supposed to be doing positivity, Scarlet. I'm getting to the positivity, don't worry. Anyway, when you try to solve all your problems with just one thing, you find you've got all new problems to deal with associated with that one thing. Just when you were there with raindrops falling on your head and a song in your heart, you find new problems. But you deal with those too. See, I'm somewhat of a hopeless romantic. I love a story where love conquers all. This is one of those stories where it's not the music that saves the day. It's a girl. A stubborn one. One who won't put up with your shit. But a girl who saves the day nevertheless. In a 50s movie. And that is why you should watch this movie. See those first little steps of feminism slowly rolling in. Slowly. A little bit of song and dance. Who doesn't need a little bit of song and dance in their lives right now? So, see the movie where the girl, the girl who burst from a cake saves an entire production company. I feel like I'm ending on a somber note. I'm not ending on a somber note. I'm not trying to end on a somber note. I'm trying to end on solemn positivity. Somewhat of a life lesson. You can't solve all your problems at once. You never can. But sometimes, you'll find you get what you need. So, that was this episode of Scarlet Unscripted. A little less cohesive than the last one. We'll see what the next one has in store. Maybe another plot synopsis. Maybe a better through-line argument to get you to watch a movie. But hopefully these somber notes have convinced you to give this movie a look. Maybe it'll make you laugh. So I've been Scarlet, and this has been Scarlet Unscripted.